Hey, what's up, everyone? I have a video on house hacking, and today I'm gonna show you what I plan to do in the future. If everything goes my way, this is something I might do, I might consider, and I don't know. Let me know if any of y'all think this is either a bad idea, a good idea, a decent idea, or it's probably very unlikely, or if it's unlikely. So here we have basically what I'm covering. So house hacking with roommates. So the point here is to find two other roommates that are each making 55K or more a year. So by including myself, that's three people making 55,000 a year. Um, you are looking for a house that's 2 to 3 beds and 5 bedrooms. This is so that you can include other roommates who do not co-sign to rent your house. So these two roommates that you find, they're for co-signing. How you go about the deal, like whether you all split the deposit, whether you split the how much you get at the end of the house at the end when the house gets paid off. That's all something that can be determined on another video, but this video is just you get them for co-signing. That's it. They're not in on being taking part of gaining the ownership of the house. This is just for helping you out get the house by co-signing. So they're not putting the down payment. You're putting the down payment. Another thing you want to have is a large parking lot. You want to make sure that you know your your roommates are making the 55K a year, so that your total annual income combined total combined annual income from three people is $165,000 a year, which can afford you a $708,000 house in Orange County. So I came up with that number using this tab. As you can see here, you can type it in if you want. You can set the numbers, whatever, but that's the number I got. Okay. I looked for the house. I found it. Here's the house that I found. It's for sale. It's active. Here are some of the details: 5 beds, 3 baths, large square footage, huge parking lot, and there's even a parking lot in the back of the house, as you can see here. Voila. And there's a garage too, so it keeps getting better. This is a really good house that I like. It doesn't look fancy, but that doesn't matter. All we need is the space. So this house, costs this amount, 655,000. It doesn't cost the 708,000, which is good. It doesn't mean we have to max out on the loan. Okay. I checked out the neighborhood. Pretty decent neighborhood. It's in Anaheim. Busy street, Broadway. I know this. I think I know this place. Decent area. I like it. Okay. Um, I typed in the information on mortgage calculator for different scenarios. So the this tab tells me the information I want to know. So we got 3 scenarios. So the purpose of this video is to show you how house hacking can be very powerful, and on top of that, I want to show you that there's a strategy to go about it that makes the return on your investment much greater. Here I have an 18% return, a 9% return, and a 5.8% return. How do we get these numbers? Are determined by different factors. Our first example, this first line, is composed of taking a loan of $628,000 because you put $4,000 down, which is $26,000. This is just how much you paid in total over 30 years. This is the monthly cost according to the mortgage calculator that takes into account PMI, insurance, taxes, principal, and interest. I like this calculator because it takes all that into consideration. Right now it's fixed for a $520,000 house. Let's just type in the 628 so you can get that 4055. Interest rate is pretty important too. It could be less than that as well, but let's just leave it at that random one. I also have roommate income. How much are you going to charge your roommates? So what I said is, if I have 5 bedrooms, I'm going to charge each roommate for 5 bedrooms. I'm going to have 5 other roommates besides myself. So in total, that house is going to have 6 people, 5 bedrooms. I'm going to sleep in the garage. That's right. I'll sleep in the garage, wherever I have to be. But the point is so that I live rent-free. If I live rent-free, I'm saving extra money. And that extra money that I'm saving, I could either put it as extra payments towards the house, or, to yourself. Let's suppose, you collect your rental income from your roommates, which comes out to $4,500. The cost of the house is $4,055. And let's say you don't give extra payments, you just keep the extra money. You're making profit at this point. You're making profit, but you're not giving extra payments. Okay? Same situation in the next row. So let's actually stick to this line. So down payment, it takes a year to save up a down payment of $26,000 if I were to save $2,000 a month. And then over the course of 30 years, the house is going to appreciate to $1,759,000. $1,759,000. That's the correct one. $1,759,000. $1,759,000. Yes, that's correct. Okay, and what that means, how did I get 15% return over the course of 30 years? All I did was I'm only taking into account what I put in. I put in $26,000. I didn't make the payments. My roommates did. And that gives me a return of 15.8% return over 30 years, which will give me this at the end of 30 years. How about, let's say some people say, hey, I want to give a 20% down payment. Okay, now you're saying that you have to save $130,000. It's going to take you 5 years. The house is going to appreciate, but I'm not going to take that into account. I'm not going to take the fact that it appreciates over the course of 5 years. I'm just going to leave it and say that I still found the house at $650,000. But because you put $130,000 down, your loan amount is less. Now the loan that you take out is $520,000. And when I put that into the Zillow calculator, I get that I'm going to be paying $3,395. I will still receive the same income, but I'm going to keep the profit, the difference. I'm going to keep the difference, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. But again, remember, you had to save $130K. It's a lot. You're still living rent free. You're making profit, great. And I guess you could consider that profit is a percentage return. You could argue that that's a return on your investment. So if you want to make that argument, I didn't do the math for that. I'm sorry. But let's ignore that for now. Maybe towards the end we'll take that into account. But I just found that out right now. But let's continue. I hope y'all caught that. But this is going to take 30 years. Down payment's a lot. Takes 5 years to save it. Future value, same as the other one because it's still 30 years. Now your return is $9. 9%, sorry. 9%. I guess I could put right here, true return from roommate income. All right, the last one is saying that I do the same thing as a previous one in terms of as the other two, except I do the same. So for number 14, row 14, I do the same thing as row 12. The only difference here is that instead of keeping that money, doing whatever I want with it, the roommate income minus the monthly cost, which is $445, instead of keeping it by myself, I choose to pay principal down. And what that does, it helps me pay the house in 20 years rather than 30. And how did I get that number? I used this calculator right here. This calculator right here shows me what happens when I give that extra $450. Check it out. It's interest.com, calculator, set mortgage payout, blah, blah, blah. So check it out. I like that calculator. So that's how I got the 20 years. Sorry, instead of 20 years, it's actually 24. It's actually 24 years. So let me fix that. 24 years. And then, same down payment, same amount of time to save that down payment. The future value after 24 years is $1,441,000. Okay, and my return calculated by this calculator right here, I just type in how much I put down, how much the house is gonna be worth, and how long it's gonna take to pay it off, and I got 18.21% return. It's awesome. It sounds really good. I really like that. And that's my conclusion. That's the whole video. That's the whole premise of the video, to show you what happens by you can put a little bit of money in, which was the $26,000, and get a big return. And at the end of the 24 years, you will have $1,441,000 as equity or value, wealth, whatever you want to call it. And after you paid it, now you have what I call infinite wealth. What Robert Kiyosaki calls infinite wealth, which is just passive income. Instead of making payments to the bank because you already paid it off, this roommate income is now yours after 24 years. And that's the awesome thing about real estate. You own rental property now, and that would be awesome. You don't really have to consider a retirement plan, because this would be my retirement plan, and this is not advice for you. This is what I see. This is my idea. This is my concept. I'm just sharing with you. So now let's look at what I missed out, which was what's the true return from roommate income. So the true return can be calculated by subtracting the monthly roommate income minus monthly cost, and then what I'm getting in return per year is, so per year I'm getting 12. So $5,000 extra. Wow. Really? Yeah. So that 445 times 12 is $5,000. Okay. And so the return on that, so the way you calculate the true return, you take that big number, and divide it by the deposit, the down payment, and boom. You are times 100. Missing something? Parenthesis. Okay, right here. 20% return. The true return here is 20% return on top of the. So making it confusing here, but I think the most important part is this part right here. Shoot. This is important, but this is also very eye-opening. You're getting 20% return year after year on $26,000. But when you put that 20% back into the principal, which is what's happening here, overall you get an 18.21% return. But on this case, when you're not reinvesting your money, you're just spending it. So technically, if you're spending this money, it's no return. I guess it's up to you how you want to call this number, but it's a pretty good return. It's a really good return, honestly. You're getting $5,000 every month for the 26 that you put in. I like it. I like that number a lot. All right, how about this one? But in this case, remember, you put huge down payment, $130,000, and passive income will be the passive income that you will be getting is this minus this. Essentially what I could do is just drag this down. Booyah. Let me just make sure I'm using the right numbers. Yep, using the right numbers. The 130,000 payment. See, it's not that much because you had to put that 130K. That makes a huge difference. And then for this one, it's the same. It ends up being the same, as you can see, because yeah. So this one doesn't really make sense. This one just doesn't make sense because of the huge down payment, But this one, the last one, we're not receiving that money as a thing. We're not receiving that money, so it's actually going into the extra paid, So there you have it. In conclusion, this true return is a little confusing. It's confusing, but I still like this number. Still like this one a lot. And if you were to say, oh, what if I just pay extra? If you pay extra, then you're contributing, meaning you're putting in money to save money, which is not necessarily a return. You could technically cut how long it takes for you to pay down the house. So for instance, let's say I gave an extra $500. Let's say I paid extra $500. What would happen is I would pay the mortgage off. So instead of $450, an extra $500 would be $950, and we would pay the house off in 19 years, which would be return, would calculate it 23.53%. But remember, I'm putting money, so that return is not necessarily accurate because I have to put in that money. So now you have to calculate the money I put in, add it to the deposit, because I'm doing that extra money into the house payment. So now it's not just the deposit. Now it's also the monthly payments the extra monthly payments that I'm giving. Yes, it does save me money in a way, the interest, but I still think the third option is better. This one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like this one, but it takes 30 years. It's not that much different, honestly. Not that much difference. What's making these numbers big is because you're charging roommates individually $900. You're getting the house for free because all you had to do was $26,000. You did not make payments out of pocket after that. After that, your roommates paid the entire house. Think about that. All you had to do was save $26,000. After that, your roommates pay the house down. The thing I wanted to point out is that this number, the rate of return, is year after year. So you're getting 18% every year. Your total return, meaning how much did your $26,000 grow? Man, oh man, that's big right there. Your $26,000 grew by a lot. Check this out. Wait, no, the other way around. Sorry. Your $26,000 grew by this much. You ready? What the heck? Are you sure you're ready? 5,000%, my friend. This how oh my gosh, 5,000% return. That's how you get 5,000% return in 30 years. Your $26,000 grew 5,542%. Jesus, guacamole. God damn. That's for this row. Man, that's how much it grew in 24 years. So with that, I leave it. You could do the same thing for the other ones. Just divide future value divided by how much you put down to begin with. The 130,000. You want to do that one? Okay, let's do the middle row. Divided by 130 parentheses 100 times parentheses. This one only grew 1,353%. And then the first one is close to this one. It should be close. It's actually the same. It grew the same, but this one grew in 24 years. This one, the first row, it grew in 30 years to get that return. Okay, so that's it. Bye-bye. Of course, you're going to have to do some fixes. So you can, I guess, consider saving some of the money that you do make but that do not contribute to the house in terms of mortgage payments. You contribute in terms of making fixes to the house. It's minor fixes, cosmetic, cheap fixes, not huge renovational repairs. That's dumb. That's just throwing away money. Doesn't really add value to the house. Keep it simple. Just keep it functional. I would say. I am not giving advice again. I am just talking to myself. Essentially, I'm just talking to myself. And that's the video for today. I hope you like it. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. More is coming. That's all I ask from your view, you all. And I'll see you all on the next video. Ciao, ciao.